Welcome back to the Indie Brew, where we dive into all things cozy, creative, and a little bit chaotic, usually with a hot drink in hand. Today, I've got 15 essential tips and tricks to help you thrive in the vibrant, mysterious world of Lens Island. Whether you're just starting out or you've already built yourself a dreamy little island escape, these tips will help you gather faster, fight smarter, and survive longer. So grab your favorite brew and let's get into it. This one's easy to overlook, literally. But pressing the down key arrow lets you zoom the camera out and expand your field of vision. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but in practice, it changes everything. You can scout for enemies before they spot you, get a better view when chopping trees or fishing, and see more of your surroundings while exploring dungeons or building your home. I find it especially helpful when you're building a larger base so that you can see the full layout all at once, which just makes planning smoother. It's a subtle tool, but trust me, once you start using it, you'll wonder how you played without it. Wood is one of the most important resources early on, and chopping trees one by one can get pretty slow. Here's a neat trick. Line up your tree cuts so that when one falls, it knocks over others nearby. This domino effect will mean you get way more wood with less effort. I like to scout small groups of trees close together and plan my swing direction so the first tree's fall takes out one or two more, but we have gotten up to 5, that is our record. It's super satisfying and saves a ton of time, plus it kind of feels a little like a puzzle, finding the perfect angle to make the most out of each cut. Once you start doing this, you'll notice how much faster your wood pile grows. The caves in Lens Island aren't just scary places to explore, they're actually all linked together underground. That means you can travel long distances by navigating the cave system instead of taking a boat. Once you get familiar with the cave layout, it actually becomes a shortcut, so you can travel to different islands through the caves. This is especially handy if you want to avoid enemies on the surface or just save time sailing. But just remember to bring enough food, wood, and fibers to repair or make bridges, and coal to light lamps, because getting lost or caught off guard in the dark is no fun. Exploring the caves turns into not only a resource hunt, but a practical travel method. It's like having your own secret underground hike. Coins are super important in Lens Island, not just for saving up, but because you can actually buy most of the resources you need with them. This makes building and crafting a lot smoother once you've got a steady income going. Now, the best way to earn coins early on is by selling extra resources like wood or stone or fish at the towns. Then use those coins to buy the materials you're missing or don't want to gather yourself. It's a great way to skip some of the grind and focus on what you enjoy, whether that's exploring new areas, upgrading your base, or tackling dungeons. Think of coins as your currency for flexibility. Farm what you like, sell what you don't, and buy what you need. It's a smart, efficient loop that keeps your progress flowing without the constant resource hustle. Now, building on that last tip about coins, one of the easiest and most reliable ways to earn a steady income in Lens Island is by growing roses and marigolds. These flowers grow quickly, don't take up much space, and sell for a straightforward 1-to-1 coin trade at the start of town. Because you can then use those coins to buy the resources you need, having a flower farm gives you the flexibility to focus less on grinding for materials and more on fun parts like crafting or exploring. I like to dedicate a small corner of my farm to growing just these flowers, making sure they're watered and harvesting them regularly. This is a peaceful side hustle that keeps the coin flowing and opens up new possibilities for how you gather materials in the game. As you explore more of Lens Island, you'll come across automated resource generators, structures that passively gather materials like stone or wood without you having to lift a finger. These are seriously powerful tools for scaling your production, and there are 2 main ways to find them. First, make sure you talk to the pirate over at the docks. He can guide you to some of the bigger automated setups like the quarry, which steadily pumps out stone while you're off doing your own thing. These are usually more structured, a little easier to access, and definitely worth prioritizing. The second way? Keep your eyes peeled while exploring, because there are also random generators scattered throughout the world, tucked away in hidden corners. Some of them might be a little bit difficult to access, but they are definitely a great tool to find. These generators aren't fully automated, but you can set them up with some fuel and they will pump out resources for you. And once they're up and running, they will become part of your long-term resource strategy. Check in on them regularly and you'll have a steady flow of materials without the grind. It's one of the best ways to stay stocked without constantly chopping or mining. Combat can get pretty intense in Lens Island, but here's a little bit of a secret. You don't always have to face every fight head on. In fact, most enemies can't keep up with you if you just roll or sprint away. If your health is running low, don't panic, just focus on staying mobile. Rolling isn't just dodging for attacks, it's actually your best tool for creating distance and buying time to heal or regroup. I've lost count of the amount of times I've escaped a swarm of enemies by keeping my feet moving and my reflexes sharp. There has been times during some of the dungeon boss battles where it literally will be me rolling around, rolling away from the boss while my partner comes back from respawning, so it can be really useful to buy time. Remember, your health won't actually regenerate unless your hunger bar is full, so getting a way to safely eat and heal is often the smartest move. Sometimes survival means knowing when to fight and when to make a graceful exit, so keep your stamina up, master those rolls, and don't be afraid to run like the wind. After you've cleared a dungeon, you unlock the option to curse it, which makes the enemies tougher, but it also boosts your rewards. Cursed dungeons drop more dark essence, which is a key resource you'll need for enchanting your gear and also crafting potions later on. Think of it as a challenge mode. Harder fights, but sweeter payoffs. I usually only curse dungeons once I feel confident with my weapons and food supply because things definitely ramp up in difficulty, but if you're looking to speed up progression or gather rare materials, it can be well worth the risk. Just remember to stock up on healing food and keep your dodge rolls sharp. Cursed dungeons can be intense, but they're also a great way to test your skills and get some serious loot. As you progress through Lens Island, you'll find yourself traveling further and further from your home base, exploring new towns, dungeons, and hidden islands. And let me tell you, walking or boating all the way back can get tedious fast. That's why I always make sure to carry the materials needed to craft a warp portal with me. Having a portal kit on hand means you can set up a fast travel point wherever you find a safe spot, whether it's a newly discovered cave entrance, a distant town, or just somewhere you want to quickly return to later. It's like carrying a little piece of home with you at all times. No more long journeys back after a tough dungeon run or a resource haul, just place your portal and teleport back in seconds. It's a simple trick that saves tons of time and frustration, letting you spend more of your playtime exploring and building rather than trying. Food in Lens Island is simple but absolutely essential, and understanding how it works can literally save your life. Unlike some other survival games, there aren't special food buffs here. Each food item either heals you or fills your hunger bar, and that's pretty much it. But here's the catch, your health won't regenerate unless your hunger bar is full. This means that if you're down to half health, you've got to eat something that fills up your hunger, like cooked fish, berries, or venison, and then your health will start passively ticking back up. On the flip side, there are foods like pumpkin pie, stews, or blueberry muffins that will give you an instant health boost as well as the hunger, which can be a literal lifesaver in combat. There are some base level fruits that do give you a healing boost, so farming those can also be really handy. My go-to is carrying a mix of both, something cheap and filling for the hunger bar, and a couple of quick healing foods to pop in the middle of a fight. Don't overlook this, running out of food mid-dungeon can end your run fast. Stock up before you dive in and you will thank yourself later. When it comes to spending your skill points, it's tempting to pick whatever looks useful right now, but the real power lies in the edges of the skill tree. The corner skills are the best, unlocking game-changing abilities like reviving after death or keeping your backpack on when you die. I recommend zooming out and planning your path carefully so you can reach these perks. It might take a bit more time and patience, but investing in these skills pays off massively, especially when you're deep into the dungeons or exploring dangerous areas. Don't rush, think long term. Building towards those corner skills means you'll be better equipped to survive setbacks and keep your progress intact, which is a huge advantage in Lens Island. Crafting a weapon is just the beginning. The real fun starts when you take it to the anvil and upgrade it. Each upgrade unlocks new special attacks like powerful swings or combos that deal way more damage than your regular hits. These special moves aren't just flashy, they can totally turn the tide in tough battles or when you're facing multiple enemies at once. I love how upgrading my weapon not only boosts damage but also changes how I play, making combat feel fresh and exciting. So don't just settle for the base weapon, invest those resources into upgrading. Your future self, surrounded by enemies, will thank you. Now the towns in Lens Island aren't just pretty spots on the map, they're hubs that you can upgrade and level up by completing quests and improving their facilities. The big reward, when you max out its town, you unlock its warp portal, making fast travel across the islands a breeze. Besides warp access, leveling up towns also unlocks new vendors and new decorative items you can buy, and you even get a bit of extra coin for hitting that max level. I usually focus on upgrading the towns early in my playthrough to set up convenient travel hubs. This can cut down on the tedious sailing and let you spend more time adventuring or building. So don't skip the town upgrades. They are a key part of making your island life smoother and more connected. Fishing in Len's Island is more than just a relaxing pastime. It's a smart way to gather food and resources. The trick? Fish in the designated fishing spots. These areas tend to yield higher quality fish, which can be cooked, sold, or traded for coins. Don't forget there are also underground fishing spots hidden in caves offering unique fish species that you won't find anywhere else. I like to keep my fishing rod handy when exploring new areas because stumbling across these spots can be a nice surprise and a helpful boost to my food supply. Next time you cast your line, aim for the little fish spots that you will see pop up. The best fish tend to bite where the environment tells you they do. Now, harvest moons can be a real headache. Waves of enemies attacking your base, things getting destroyed, and a lot of frantic running around. But here's a helpful trick. You don't actually have to fight them if you're not ready. You can simply sleep through the harvest moon and avoid the chaos entirely. Another option is to hide out in the caves during the event, but just be aware that while you're safe underground, your base can still take damage while you're away. So if you're low on resources or not feeling up to a battle, skipping the fight can save you a lot of stress. That said, harvest moons do drop valuable loot from the monsters if you're prepared to face them, so it is a choice between risk and reward. Either way, knowing you can skip them is a big relief when you need a break. And that's a wrap. 15 practical, cozy, and occasionally life-saving tips for surviving and thriving in Len's Island. Whether you're building a flower empire, slicing through cursed dungeons, or just trying not to die during a harvest moon, I hope these tricks help you feel a little more at home on your island. If this helped you out, drop a like, maybe even subscribe for more indie game goodness. And hey, if you've got your own tip that I didn't cover, let me know in the comments. Until next time, stay caffeinated.